I'm going to show you the new BreakOut extension, which also comes with its own template. This one has been developed by Sandbox Education, a group from Spain, and they've reused some of the escape extensions and also created their own ones. And as the name says, this template will help you to make a really easy breakout activity for your class with Genially. Okay, I'll show you first what it looks like, how it works, and then how you can make your own version of this. So this is purposely left quite plain because you're meant to do your own version. Okay, so we start on the cover and you get a page for your introduction. I've added a little choose your avatar as well. So this one is based on the escape extension skins. And then this is really the main part, namely your map. So you get different tasks here. Obviously your map could look any way you want. It could be, I don't know, the rooms of a house, for example, or you could also just show one task at a time. But if you have a map overview like this, then the players can do the task in the order they want. So they can start with task 1 or they can start with task 5. Okay, so for this, let's start with task 1 and we move over there. And then we get to challenge 1. So this is where you add your challenge. So it could be using a template from Genially, like a multiple choice quiz, or you could add your own idea of a game. You could use escape extensions or sandbox extensions. How to use them you can find out in some of my other videos. You've got 2 pages for your activity, and then this one really is the important one, namely your reward page. And the main one here is that you get a number, and the numbers in this template are random, so each player will get a completely different code, which is kind of good because then they can't copy each other. But if you want them to be able to work in teams, I guess you need to change it so they all get the same number, but that is also possible with this template, which I'll show you later. Okay, so here we got our reward. So now we can go to the reward overview, and you can see down here it's put the 0 already in our list of all the numbers we found, and it's put the item that we found in there as well. So we need to collect all the 5 items, all the 5 numbers, and then this present here will be unlocked, and then I need to put in the code to get the final reward. Okay, so now we can go back to task 2 and so on. Okay, so now we got number 7, and we can go back and we got 2 items and 2 numbers. I'm just quickly going to finish and get all the other rewards. Okay, so now you can see I've got all 5 items, all 5 numbers, and automatically this present has been unlocked. So I can click on it, and this will get me to the lock page, and you can completely customize this as I will show you later. And up here you can see again this number of the random numbers we got. It shows you here, so it makes it really easy for the players. They don't even need to write it down. They get a little reminder, which obviously you can take out if you want to make it a bit harder. So now I need to put in those numbers, and it automatically knows that these are the right numbers, and then I can get to the final reward, which could then say, well done, you won, and so on. So this presentation, which I've translated from Spanish, comes with 3 ways really of making your own game. So either you can copy all those pages and just change them and try to kind of change as little as possible, so to speak, just add your activities, add your style to it a little bit. That's the easiest way. Or you can use the blue template slides, which are the ones made by Sandbox, which have all the different elements and what each one does. And then I've also added these pink slides, which walk you through it step by step, which pages you need and which element needs to be on each page. So I'm going to show you these pink slides in action now by making a little escape room. I'm going to show you now how you can use the BreakOut template for your own game. And to make it a bit quicker, I'm going to start with one of the Genially templates. So I go here into gamification, and let's start with the education escape room game. So use this one. So the first thing you need to do is add the template slides. So to do that, you need to open the presentation with the breakout template and then click at the bottom reuse slides, and it will then add it to your Genially account. So if I go in here to my creations, I can find the template for it. So it's quite at the top because it's one I have used recently, otherwise I could look for it in there. So I go in there and I just want to use the pink template. So I'll download all these slides and just put them at the beginning of my presentation. Okay, and now you can use these step by step. So on the title page we need the continue button. So let's go on here. So we've already got a start button, so I could just copy and paste this and create a second one which says continue, and I just group this with this element. And so remember, this only appears if you've already started the game. So then I need to decide where I want this to link to. So we want to link this to our map, so to speak. So in this case the map is this blackboard here. Okay, and the start button needs to link to the next page. Okay, then here's my introduction page. So on the introduction page I need to have this element, which is quite important. So I just put it in a corner somewhere. It doesn't matter where it goes because it will be invisible to the player anyway. And in this case here I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 activities, so I need to change this to 4 instead of 5. We've got our characters here, so let's use them as our avatars. So I go on here and I need the red box. Let's take the green one as well while we're at it. So the red box needs to go on here, and I can just click Control C to copy and Control V to paste it. So just paste it in as many times as I need it. So I've got 4 in this case. There we go. We don't need the green one. This green one needs to go on all the slides where I want the avatar to appear. So probably most of my pages. So I might want it to appear here and at the beginning of this quiz, and then put it at the beginning of this quiz as well, and so on. So I'll just put it on a few pages for now. Okay, and it's important that I remember to group these red boxes with the picture. So if you click on a photo and then hold down Control and then click on the red box, it selects both of them, and then you can either click the group button up here or you click Control G to group them. It's even quicker. Okay, so if you go into preview now, you can see that they are kind of a bit more transparent, except for the one that I select. So let's select this lady and click here to get to the next slide, and you can see here she has appeared here as my little avatar. She's not round anymore now. I think that's because these pictures were cropped on here, so it shows the original picture there. Okay, let's go back to our template and see what we need next. So we've done this side. Now the map page. So for the map page we need quite a lot of things. So we first need one of these progress bars, and you can choose any that you like, so whichever looks the best in your design. So maybe you go with yellow because that matches. And we also need 4 of these reward boxes. So the blue ones here, they are the rewards. So I'd select 1, 2, 3, 4. Make sure that you use them in the right order. And we also take an off boss, which apparently makes the game run a bit better. So on here I've got my missions, so I put in all my items, and it makes now sense to have some kind of feedback after each activity has been completed. So I could put in a tick, for example. If I go to the illustrations here, I can put in check, and then I get lots of different check buttons. So maybe let's use this one, and I put this on top of all 4 missions. There you go. And each one I need to group with a different blue box. And then I was told it works better if you also group them with those green boxes. These green boxes just mean that after you've defeated the final challenge, so to speak, they all turn back off again. Okay, so let's go back to our templates. So here's the explanation how to make your avatar move around the map, but I'm leaving this for now. The next important thing is the reward pages. So again, I need 4 of these to turn on my rewards, so copy them. And now I need to go to the end of each of my challenges. So I need to find the one that says congratulations. So let's go here. I've pasted in all 4 of them just to make it quicker. So I just leave one here and take away the other 4 by clicking Ctrl X. Okay, so they have all got these digits on. They already have numbers on here, so I probably want to take this out for all of these challenges, but I won't do that now. Okay, now we need 2 more things. So we need the reward page and we need the log page. In this template we don't really have a reward page, so I quickly need to create one. This is my reward page now, and on there I want to have these rewards with the hashtag. So again, we need number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4. So copy them over. I also need the log boss. So let's copy this one and I put them all on my reward page. Okay, let's say we also want to collect items, then we would have the item probably on the same page as the congratulations page. So let's say we collect a computer here. Makes sense with the school escape room. And so we just put a picture of the computer here. That's the one I found. And then I would also put my item onto my reward page. And then I need another blue button for my reward page. So here, reward 1, because my first reward, after solving the first puzzle, I get the computer and I also get my first digit. So that's why I need 2 blue reward boxes for number 1. And then the same for the other 3, but I leave that for now. So for now we just get numbers for those other activities. Okay, then I need to connect this with the final log. So let's link this up. So it's already linked to the calculator here, and I need to cover this up somehow. So let's find something that can cover it. Maybe let's use another illustration. Okay, I've put in forbidden. So here I've got my forbidden sign and I group it with my boss log. There we go, group it together, and I put this on top of the final page link so you can't get to it until you've solved everything. Okay, then let's look in our template. So we now need to do the log page. So we need quite a lot of different things. We need all these elements over here. Let's put them all on, and also the ones on the right hand side. Okay, let's copy the gray background, but I'll just get rid of that. Okay, so let's see what we've got. So we've got digi on, digi off, and the hack code. Okay, so the hack code is what will show our players which numbers they collected. So make sure that this has the same number of digits as your code will have. In this case, I've got 4 activities that collect 4 codes, so I just need 1, 2, 3, 4. If I had 5 activities, I would just put a 5 or 6, 7, and so on. So just do generic numbers because they will be replaced with whatever numbers they found, the random ones that the game generates. So instead of those mission numbers, we just put our code there. There you go. So I could change here the color, so it's easier to see on the black. I could also change the writing of it and everything, but I'll leave it for now. So you can really adapt it as much as you want to your own activity. Okay, then we need those numbers, and it's quite handy that this template already comes with this calculator, so I can just put it on here. Okay, this element here with the numbers will show which numbers you've entered. So if you don't want the numbers to show up because your log doesn't have a display, you could just keep this outside the slide or make it invisible. But actually with this calculator it works quite well. I'm just going to make it black. There we go. Okay, the digicode, just keep it as 1, 2, 3, 4, because again it will be replaced automatically, but make sure again that it has enough digits. So if your code has 4 digits, then it should be 4 digits there, 1, 2, 3, 4, up there and over there. So all of these need to be changed. And then we've got the open and the error messages. So I could maybe put them on here wherever I want this to appear, depending if the numbers have been entered right or wrong. Okay, and then we've got digi on and digi off. So these ones, you don't need to use both of them. These are grouped with things that either appear, so the digi on, or that disappear if we get the code right. So in this case, I don't want anything to disappear, but I want something to appear. Namely, I want a button that will take me to the final reward page. So I group this with my digi on, group this, and this needs to go to the final reward. So I'm going to quickly show you 2 alternative versions of this game that don't use the randomly generated code numbers. And I'm going to do it with a copy of the original template here. Okay, so let's say you want all your players to find the same digits and not random ones, because, for example, you want to encourage more teamwork across the whole group, or you want to share the correct answers with a colleague. What you can do is, on the reward overview, take out these numbers here. We don't need them because we don't want the random numbers. On each of the reward pages, you need to have the green box in there, because that's what tells the game that the progress has been made, but you can make them invisible. So we go up here to the transparency and turn it down. Okay, so now we can see it. And we would do that for all the different ones, obviously. So I go to the log page here, and I want to get rid of this green box and the clue for the numbers, because we're not using those generated numbers anymore. So let's get rid of this. And here in my digicode, I put in the numbers I actually want to use. So let's say we want to use 4, 3, 2, 1 as our code. And let's do the same over here. I don't think it makes a difference there, but we'll just put them in there as well to be safe. And now it should work with those numbers instead of the random ones. So if I go 4, 3, 2, 1, and it has also opened my log. So that's one way of using your own numbers. The other way of doing it is completely taking out the numbers, so taking out the log page, and instead of the log page, you could have a building page or a dressing up page. So here's my example of the rewards page, where you have to dress up a person. So instead of collecting cuddly toys, in this case, you're collecting 5 pieces of clothing. So here I've already collected them. Well, I've got 4 at least. And then I can drag them onto the person. And once I've got all 5 of them collected, then the log will open up. And how I've done this is, obviously I put a picture of these clothes items at the end of each reward, but I don't need to group them with anything. So I just take out my fish here, put in that hat, but I can get rid of all these code items. Okay, so now at the end of challenge number 1, they would get the hat. And Then on my reward overview, I need to group them. So I still need to group them with the blue reward boxes, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But I'm also using the D&D extension from Scape. And I've added this template to the breakout template here as well. So I've got these colored boxes here. And depending how many items I have, so in this case I've got 5 items, so I need 5 different colors. And as you can see, for each color I've got one called object and one called target in French. So obviously the object 1 needs to go to target 1, object 2 needs to go to target 2, and so on. So these target boxes need to be grouped with something though, and they need to be in the area where I want the item to be placed. So if the player was really stupid and put the hat on the feet, for example, the lock wouldn't open because it needs the yellow item there. So only if this yellow item hits the other yellow item, and so on, and all my colors are completed, then this lock will open because it's grouped with the global off button. So global here means that all of the colors need to be matched up before this disappears. You could also use a global on, which is on the template here, which means only if they're all matched up does the present appear, for example. So if you don't want to block it off, but something comes up instead. So you would just copy these boxes over. Here you can resize them as you want, so it's good to be a bit generous, so they definitely hit each other. Then I would group it with my items. These ones here need to be grouped as well, and what I've done is just I've grouped them with a box which I've just made invisible. So if I make it visible again, you can see actually there is a gray box here, and I've just put this on top. I've grouped the two together, and then I've made it invisible. I can just make the whole thing invisible, doesn't really matter. So the players can't see it, but it's still there and will still react to it being matched up. So here's a version with dress up. Here's a version where you have to put the robot together. So you need to find the head, the body, and so on. And to make it clear to the player where they need to place it, I've put a picture of the robot there, and I've made it a little bit transparent so they can just about see it, so they know where to put things. To cut up a picture, I show you a little trick. So let's say I want to cut up this pig here into 4 puzzle pieces, so they have to collect the 4 pieces before they can put it together. An easy way, but not very precise, is just to use the cutting tool, so the cropping tool. And what you do is you choose your corner here. Let's say this is our top quarter. Okay, and what you do is copy and paste. So I've got 2 of this corner. I put them exactly on top of each other. And then I go back to crop again. And then I just move the picture over. So we go into this corner. There you go. And now I've got 2 pieces. The problem is they overlap a bit, so it's quite hard to hit the middle exactly. But I can now do the same again. So copy and paste, put it on there, use the crop and move it down and so on. And then I end up with 4 pictures. I mean, it doesn't really matter too much if it overlaps. If you want to have it exactly precise, that there's no overlap and it's exactly 4 pieces that fit together, you could add from the resources a table. So we use this table here, and let's say we want exactly 4 pieces, so I delete all the data. So I've only got 4 boxes. Somewhere I've got something left. Okay, so now I've got 4 here. They're not quite the right size, so I need to make sure here fixed column width. There we go, so they're all the same size, and I want to make them all invisible, so transparent as well. Okay, doesn't really matter if there's still numbers in there, I can just ignore them. And this will now help me to line up my 4 pieces exactly. So if I put this in the background, and then I've got my pig here, so I can then crop it so that it fits exactly into those 4 table bits, and then I know they're all the same size. So again, I would copy and paste, leave them on top of each other, move the cropping area over so it lines up. Okay, and again copy and paste and crop, and then move the cropping area down here so it lines up with this black box, and so on. And this way I've got nicely 4 pieces that fit exactly together.